if you know those pipe concept, you can create any kind of program in any kind of programming language. Pipe concept you should know as a beginner programmer. So in this video I'm going to tell you the pipe concept that you must know as a beginner programmer when you start learning programming. So the first concept you should know as a beginner programmer is variable and data type. What is variable and data type? Well, variable and data type, variable is just a simple storage in a memory where programmers used to store data so that in their program later on they can access that data. So variable, we usually store different types of data inside a variable. Maybe you are going to store a number, or we're going to store a text, or we're going to store a boolean value. If you don't know what is boolean value, don't worry, when you start learning programming you're going to know it. So this is the first concept you should know, variable and data type. And the second concept you should know as a beginner programmer is data structure. So when you have like a lot of data you wanted to store, variable can only store a single data. But if you have a data structure, for example like array, tuple, set, dictionary, you can store all of those data that you have and you wanted to store and work with them. You just have to use index and access all of those data differently. So you might use array or something based on the programming language you use. So the second concept you should know is data structure. And data structure is everywhere in every programming language. You're going to find a built-in data structure. Then the second concept you should know is control structure. And this control structure I divided into three parts. We have conditional statement, if, and function. This is your third concept. You're going to know conditionals. You must know conditional statement, which is if statement. For example, when you write a code and you wanted to make some decision, if something happened, then you want your program to do this and act this way. If something happened, then you want your program to act that way. So in this case we use something what we call conditional statement, which is you put if my variable is 10, then do this, or if my variable is greater than 10, do this. So this is usually what we do in programming. So this is the third concept you should know, which is conditional statement. And conditional statement is divided into three. We have if statement, else statement, and else if statement. Then the fourth concept you should know as a programmer is looping. So if you don't know what is looping, looping means repeating, or I said repetition. When you have to repeat something over and over again, this is what we call looping in program. So for example, let's assume you write a program and you want your computer to keep reading that program over and over again. So what you have to do in that case, you're going to put it in what we call a loop. And a loop is going to repeat that code over and over again based on the amount of time you ask him to repeat that code. So this is your fourth concept you should know, which is looping. And the last but not the least is called function. So as a beginner programmer, you must know how to create a function and how to work with function. So function is just like a variable, but variable is going to store only single data, but function is going to store a complete logic. Look at variable as a text inside your notebook, and look at function as a pages inside your notebook. So I hope you get what I mean. But the difference is that variable only store data, but function is going to store a complete logic. For example, you create a logic that will add in two numbers, or is going to divide or something like that. So that logic you will put it inside a function. So this is how function is, and these are the five concepts you should know as a beginner programmer. Number 1, variable and data type. Number 2, data structure. Number 3, conditional statement. Number 4, looping. Number 5, function. So if you know those 5 concepts, you can create any kind of program in any kind of programming language.
It sounds delicious, baby.
Ga wani matashi